What's up, everybody? Ryan McGuffey here. It's the REKAP Lunch Hour with Guff, brought to you by our fine partners at Hooters. Visit originalhooters.com and find one of the 11 Chicagoland locations near you. Sorry for being a little late here. Trying to get some intel as to what is going on out in Green Bay with the Chicago Bears now being the current betting favorite to land Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty. How does that make you feel? Because I have some thoughts on it, and I don't love the idea of moving up to trade for a running back. Obviously, the betting favorite means in this particular case that the Bears would be moving up, and right now the betting markets have Jeanty going 5th overall at minus 250, which tells you that some type of trade with Jacksonville would have to happen. Eric, looking forward to who the Bears will pick at 10. Let's see if it is 10. I don't expect them to trade up for any reason. Let's see what happens on which players get picked before the Bears pick at 10. We heard Ryan Poles say expect it to be wild. Well, here we are, and moving up to get Jeanty, I think qualifies as wild. It'll be me, Cap, and Alex Brown tonight, bringing you Lakeside Bank Recap Football Draft Night Live. Will be on the air at 7 o'clock, and we'll be with you through the madness of the first round. OD says, I'm only good with Jeanty at 10 if the top linemen on both sides of the ball are off the board and there are no good trade back offers. Yeah, I kind of like that, OD. I really don't want to trade up. Honestly, I don't really want to trade up in any scenario here. I want to trade back if best. Personally, staying at 10 due to lack of depth. The first round is very tilted. It's tilted one-sided with playmakers at the very top and a lot of depth in the back half, meaning Abdul Carter, clearly the best, probably best overall player in the draft as the edge rusher. Cam Ward, of the quarterbacks, clearly the top-rated one, though if you put him in other quarterback classes, not so, but this is the quarterback class he's in. Ashton Jeanty, clearly the best running back. Will Campbell, clearly the best tackle. From there, the trickle down and the depth pieces are really where teams are wanting to move back and are finding difficulty in moving back because other teams that are further back in the draft are seeing the same value that the teams in the top 10 are. They understand the depth and the talent, and they're not willing to give you the pieces, at least as of 12:34 p.m. Central Time, to move up to trade. So the Bears would trade back. Usually you swap first, you get seconds, you get thirds, you get next year seconds, and maybe right now the package to move back is just not that attractive. And you stay at 10 and draft a really good football player, and then you go from there. Top Guff, great sweep by the Cubs. Now let's finish the homestand on a positive note. Yeah, the Cubs, absolutely fantastic. If you're a Cub fan, you better be jacked up. 16-10, playing the gauntlet of the NL West. They're done playing the Dodgers, who they whipped. I say whipped. They went toe-to-toe with. They were 4-1 stateside. Get out of Japan. They were 4-1 against the Dodgers. You got to love where the Cubs are. They've guaranteed themselves a winning April. We've been saying all along that if they were to go 500, it'd be a great April. But to go above 500 is a win. They'd have to lose out, which means they'd have to get swept by the Phils and lose the first 2 games at Pittsburgh to finish 1 game above 500. What's going on, Landon? Becky, yes, the Cubs sweep. What else we got here? OD, my MLB betting formula has been simple and effective so far. Cubs win, Sox and Rockies lose. After 182 games, you will easily be on the plus side of the ledger, especially if you put an effort to pick spots. Interesting. I don't hate that, OD. So you're betting every night the Cubs to win, every night the Sox and Rockies to lose. I understand. That's actually, you're betting that the Cubs are going to win 2/3 of the games and the other 2 are going to lose 2/3. And right now the Rockies and White Sox are losing at a much higher clip. 50th anniversary of the Walter Payton draft, Bears taking Jeanty, says Lip Ripper. I was thinking about that today, that I believe that it's hard to believe that Walter Payton was drafted 50 years ago. This month is something. And obviously we know that Walter Payton, one of the greatest players in the history of the league. And then rest in peace to Steve McMichael, passing away last night after a beyond courageous battle with Lou Gehrig's disease and surviving through the Hall of Fame, which was obviously fantastic for the family and for Mongo to make it. But rest in peace to one of the all-time great Bears and all-time just great dudes. Pablo, happy weekend eve, Recap Rush Hour fam. Guff, are you doing the live stream tonight for the draft? Yes, looking forward to it. Yeah, 7 o'clock. Cap, myself, Alex Brown will be right here in the studio. Alex will be live from his house. We will be breaking down each pick starting at 7 o'clock when the Tennessee Titans are on the clock. We'll be on the clock as well. Look, that's no surprise. It'll be Cam Ward. But we will have insight on not just the picks, but all of the talk and stuff going behind the scenes. We'll be up to date on Twitter. We'll have the draft on. Be a second screen experience. Let us be your first screen experience. We'll figure it out and have a blast. Good afternoon. Cubs and Bears are on the rise. Randall, my goodness, I hope so. RIP to Mongo, says Swayze. Becky chimes in on that as well. Happy draft day, Guff, says Kyle. Can't wait for tonight to see who the Bears pick. Not a fan to move up for Jeanty, but I am for Abdul Carter. I don't think at this point anybody that has a top 3 pick is going to move. I think there's too much value in those positions at those picks. I think the Tennessee Titans have pretty much already signed Cam Ward to a contract. I think it's very clear that Hunter's going second to the Cleveland Browns. And number 3, I think Abdul Carter, I think the Giants are looking at the opportunity, even though they need a quarterback. There's not value in the quarterback, and they get the best player in this draft, an edge rusher. And all of a sudden, the Giants there's an odd man out in New York. Cap and I were talking about this. If the draft were to fall, that Kayvon Thibodeau might be an odd man out, even though he was, I think, Joe Shane's first pick a couple of years ago by the New York Football Giants. So it'll be interesting to see if there's availability for a player like that after the trade. Ralph is saying, yes, he wants to trade up for Jeanty. Jeanty said Green Bay's kind of boring in an interview. He already gets it. Could you imagine whoever the Bears' first pick is, by the way, will get booed hardcore in Green Bay. They should love it immediately because we should too. Ralph says, yes, 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 move up. Good afternoon, says the real Phil Sims. Message sent last night. Take 2 out of 3 from the Phillies. No doubt a message sent. They're going to trade up, Guff. I'm getting that feeling, says Swayze. We'll see. Let me check if the betting market has flipped at all since we've gone on the air. Bears still minus 175 as of this writing. As of this right now, minus 175, the betting favorite to land Jeanty. Eric, Guff, this Cubs team is legit. Their offense is so good. But if we can get a couple of bullpen pitchers and at least another starter, then this Cubs team can go deep in the playoffs. Tom, no trade up for Jeanty. It's all smoke. Here's what I'll say, Tom, about smoke. The betting markets actually do tell a story. Some people don't want to hear that, but they are dialed in, and they do kind of dictate where not just the talk is, but the lean is going. And right now it seems very clear that they don't have Ashton Jeanty going anywhere higher than 5, but 5 seems to be the spot, and 5 seems to be the sticking point. And it'll be curious to see how the Jacksonville Jaguars handle it. If I'm the Bears and I really want Ashton Jeanty and I need to move up to do it, I can tell you one thing I'm not doing. I'm not packaging both second-round picks. Not happening. So maybe it's 30, a pick swap, 39, and next year's number 2. Maybe that's possible. I would not do it under any circumstance for Ashton Jeanty to go 39 and 41. I'm thinking they're going to trade up with one of those second-round picks and trade back with the other. Book it. That's an interesting philosophy. Kyle, great victory for the Cubs last night. Won the season series with Dodgers and D-backs and tied with the Padres. Hope good vibes continue tomorrow against Philadelphia. Go Cubs. Godfather, they need a good back to take the pressure off Caleb. Don't trust Poles, running back and O-line. I'm totally cool with offensive line. Ted says, I see people are starting to come around to my Ashton Jeanty pick. It's not that we're coming around. I love Ashton Jeanty. I would love him to be a Bear, but I want him to be a Bear on our terms, not somebody else's terms. And that's what I'm a little, I won't say nervous about. I just don't want the Bears. I've been saying this consistently from the beginning. I want other teams to play the desperation game. I don't want the Bears to be desperate on draft night because I don't believe they need to be. And that's what I'm concerned about. Don't get caught up in what everybody else is doing. James Weston, my guy. What's up, my man? Appreciate you being here. Now we just need White Sox fans to demand Jace Laviolette from Texas A&M. Uncle Ted, if the White Sox get him, you should be the first person that gets a jersey for free. You've been preaching that for months. So long as they don't trade up for it, Uncle Ted. Alan, Baez for PCA. Steal of a trade. 100%, Alan. We were texting about this on our group chat last night with Cap. Cap's like, it's one of the best trades of all time. I'm like, pump the brakes on that. It's a phenomenal trade. It's not a top 10 trade in Cubs history as of right now. Not saying it couldn't get there, but it's not a top 10 trade of all time in Cubs history. It's a fantastic trade. Don't get me wrong. Fantastic, but not a top 10 of all time. Ricketts puffing out his chest now. Wait till they stop hitting. They always do. Godfather always crapping when everyone else is feeling good. And I know, Godfather, you've been a fan for 50 plus, my man. Well earned. I want Ben Johnson to have as close to as we can get to Jahmyr Gibbs in Ashton Jeanty. Okay. Happy draft day, Breck. What's up, my man? Breck and I were exchanging some texts earlier today. His dad, by the way, let me see what year that was. One of the greatest men I've ever known. His dad was drafted. What year was that? What year was that, B? John Rodman. Back in the day where they had 12 plus rounds, his dad was drafted a tackle out of Northwestern in the 70s. Really, really cool. And he sent me the screen grab today. Very cool. Jess, we will see, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears do trade up for Jeanty to get that additional weapon for Johnson. Otherwise, I'm dreading this draft. Sanders better not go to the Steelers. She's talking about Shedeur Sanders going to the Steelers at 21. As long as the Steelers don't trade up for it, I think that's important. They should not trade up to go get Shedeur Sanders. In my opinion, of course, I don't think that should be something they should even consider. The White Sox currently leading 1-0 on a home run by Lenyn Sosa. Eric, what kind of production from Jeanty would make a trade up worth it? It's funny you asked this. I was talking about this yesterday. I think it's got to be like 1,400. And I don't even know, I think it's going to be 1,400 yards and 9 touchdowns. You can't have 834 yards in your rookie year and be like, oh, yeah, we gave up 2 other starters to go get him. I clearly want to know what the package is. Who's going to bluff first? Who's going to bluff first? Is it going to be the Bears? Is it going to be the Jags? Do the Jags not want Ashton Jeanty? Do the Jags want to move down, but at their cost? It's going to be interesting. Totally agree, Alan. Awesome trade with the Mets. Lip. There's a part of me that wants the Bears to draft Jeanty so I can finally root for him. But I do think that need is O-line, D-line, and tight end. Yeah, that Mountain West lip ripper, we know, a UNLV grad, if I'm not mistaken. So he's had a Boise State thing going against his way. It would be fun to the rooting part of me would love Ashton Jeanty, right? I love offense. Give me as many offensive studs as possible. But I'm looking at what this team needs, and I don't want to trade up. I don't. B is giving me the 1971 draft. The 1971 draft, one of the best men I've ever known. So happy draft day to B and company. Thank you for bringing Chicago the trophy. Mongo, rest in peace, no doubt, Wayne. Uncle Ted, scheme will fix the O-line more than anything. They got, of course, new coaching. I think the GMs around the league already know there's going to be a few trades today. It'll be interesting. It's the first time since 1967 that all of the teams in the NFL are still have their original first round pick. And I think it's just telling you no one's bluffing for some kind of overhaul or big haul, because I think the draft talent is the blue chip talent's in the top 5. And then there's a lot of depth talent from there to 50. Justin, the Cubs third baseman this year have only hit 1 home run, and the Cubs offense is still unbelievable. Who do you want the Bears to take in the first round? Let's go, Guff, big day. I want the Bears to take, I've been saying consistently, give me a lineman. The Jeanty part of me, I get excited. I wouldn't be upset if the Bears have Ashton Jeanty. I would be upset if the Bears coughed up 39 and 41 to move up to get him. I would be upset about that. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen. Jimbo, how you doing? Sorry, I've been away, missed the show. Warren is our pick at 10. Tyler Warren, that's an interest. I don't want to say it's a head scratcher. He's talented. He's super talented. Unfortunately, I put on the tape of prior to last year. He's a good football player. Really good football player. I think the Jets love him, though, at 7. I think the Jets love Warren at 7. And the Bears, I would not trade up for him either. Terry, Sweetness wasn't just one of the greatest running backs to play, but one of the greatest players, period. Run, block, catch, throw, and even kick. He could do it all. Once-in-a-generation talent. Steve says Kelvin Banks Jr. at 10, which I could see, the tackle from Texas. The most overrated quarterback in the draft is Shedeur Sanders. Agreed, but whoever the anonymous coach was that crapped all over him yesterday, I think that's BS. That you're coming out the day before the draft where this kid's going to get to live his dream, and you're going to sit there and say, unimpressive, bad interview, what do you call it? Entitled. His dad's prime. His dad's Deion Sanders. Okay, he lived a different life than some of these other kids. But don't crap on him, trying to get him to move down because you didn't like the way it went. I think that's ridiculous, to be honest with you. You know what's not ridiculous? Hooters. Hooters, one of the 11 Chicagoland locations. OriginalHooters.com. 11 Chicagoland locations. Find the one near you. Great place to watch the draft. Watch the draft from one of those. Couple of years ago, get one of those Big Daddy mugs with the seasonal beer specials, the Dos Equis, a summer shandy. Come on. The summer shandy tells me the weather's coming. We got great weather right here. The mahi mahi tacos, the tender tacos, all there on the menu. And of course, I like the sweet heat of the mango habanero sauce and the cinnamon pretzel bites, a McGuffey staple to finish every meal that we have at Hooters, that little sweet kick before to wash down the wings. It's just the best place for cold beer, for chicken wings, and the iconic Hooters girls. And if you want to pick stuff up to go, order.hooters.com. That is your place to do so. A couple of more comments here as we come down the stretch. I'm trying to keep up with the intel that I'm getting, not just on Twitter, but the actual intel that I'm getting from people around the league sources. And everyone's kind of in the same spot. No one outside of 5 down really knows what's going to happen. And I think it'll be fun to see if there's something crazy that happens prior to the draft. Will there be a trade? Will the Bears move up before the draft? Are they going to wait until they have to and put more pressure on Jacksonville to call their bluff? And it'll be interesting to see what happens. The Cubs trade for Pablo Lopez is what Uncle Ted will say. The Minnesota Twins starter who's been really good as a Twin. Sandy is on the block, of course. I think we're moving up. I just wonder if it's for Jeanty or Carter. Tommy, if you were going to bet, I'd bet on Jeanty. Abdul Carter's getting selected, I think, by the New York Giants. I really do. I just think he's locked in at 3. I don't think it's for Carter. Absolutely agree with that. So it's just to lip. I'd trade some of those 1,000 wide receivers the Bear have. Is it supposed to rain in Chicago tomorrow? Becky wants to know. I think we're supposed to get some overnight. Met Mongo while I was in high school, says Kyle, one of the nicest former Bears you'll ever want to meet. Blessings and prayers to his family and former teammates. R.I.P. Mongo. Well said. Jackson would get the 10th. Jackson would get 10th pick, a second, and an NFL-ready prospect. 1 second, then it's different. I'd have to think about that. Or a second this year and a second next year. Well, did Jacksonville do that? Maybe. Guff and Cap, you guys are good guys. Appreciate you, Becky. Brian, stay at 10. Take the best player available. Poles wanted to move up for a Dunze, and look what happened. No 2 draft is the same, though, to your point, Brian. As much as I love Tuck, PCA is far and away my favorite player on the squad. His energy is infectious and might be what's driving this offense. I think he is the 2025 version of the 2016 version of Javier Baez, which I find funny. They were traded for each other. And I feel like they're the same guy in terms of energy, talent, getting the crowd going, swagger, etc. Phil asks, what is your ideal draft for the Bears to be seen as serious contender? My ideal draft is you take starter in the top 3, meaning 10, 39, 41. You're taking 3 dudes that make your football team much better, your quarterback better protected, and your defense more of a force. That's what I'm looking for, Phil. And maybe one of those guys is a running back in the second round, 39 or 41. I think Maybe the Bears really want Ashton Jeanty. They're going to make at least a play to move up, but a play that's on their terms. They don't meet the demands of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then they sit and wait and see what happens. Maybe in an ideal world, that's what happens. Wayne, if the Bears move up, it'll be for an edge rusher. I'll be tuned in tonight. I don't think that's the case. I'll eat my words. I think Abdul Carter is a giant. I think. Calling it right now, says Leon. I'll be back after every game we lose. We won 5 games last year with a horrific O-line. If they draft a running back and don't solidify the O-line, we'll win 4 games. Clip it and ship it. Ted, Jeanty could be a 1,500 rushing, 1,250 receiving RB1. Ted, if anybody can say that's what you're getting, he's going number 1. If you're telling me you're getting a 2,700-yard running back, he would go number 1 to the Titans. Not a quarterback. Please, no trade up for Jeanty, says Erica. I heard yesterday that he had a supposed deal with the Giants to move up to 3 for Carter. Smoke, Erica, smoke. Jess, Adunze was a solid pick. It's hard to get a team going when you have no coaching, no O-line. Ideal draft pick for the Bears would be to beef up the O-line, and I don't mean Italian beef. Well said. The Bears need another Sayers-Buckus draft. Then I could say I was there for both. I just don't want the Bears to be picking, what was it, 4 and 5? What did they go, 5 and 6? Both guys went in the first round. Yeah, I mean, you can get Hall of Famer for sure. That'd be fantastic. Leon says Kelvin Banks is the best O-lineman in the draft outside of the injury to Josh Simmons. Banks has quick feet, fantastic footwork, great anchor where he doesn't get pushed back. He's the pick at 10. Look at the insight from Leon. Like that. Bad night for the NHL picks. 7-7 overall. The score goal, Barkov plus 225. Matthews plus 120. And Stone plus 275. Clyde, I'm at work today after a 12-hour shift. RIP to Mongo. Offensive tackle, Will Campbell or Jeanty at 10. I don't think either one's going to be there at 10, unfortunately, Clyde. No draft by position odds for the Bears on DraftKings is suspicious. Agreed. It tells you that the Bears are in the middle of all of the mess. I looked that up earlier and also saw that the Bears were not available as a team draft. Swayze, by there not being any movement thus far, it just shows how few blue chip prospects in this draft. This is what I've been saying. This leads me to believe in the Jeanty thing even more. They'll still get another lineman, though. I just don't think the Bears are going to cave, hopefully. I hope they don't cave to what the demand is to move up. Justin, Bears don't need to do anything flashy. Get the job done. Set yourself up for a few good years. My guy, James. My guy's Fannin. If you want a different tight end opposite Kmet, then I think you can move down and grab that guy later, James. Guff, here's my honest opinion about this pick tonight for the Bears. If Jeanty falls to 10, take him. That's a lock. If he falls to 10, by the way, if you want to do that, if you think Jeanty falls to 10, do you know what the odds of that? Ashton Jeanty, 12-1 to go 10th overall. I think Shedeur Sanders could be a monster NFL quarterback. I think he's going to need great coaching. So depending on where he goes, that'll be something interesting to see. Good thing I bet Jeanty at plus 225 last week. Hopefully it's not to go 10, Jimmy. Okay. Hooters sounds good AF right now, says Uncle. No doubt about it. I never forget about my people in Northwest Indiana. Hooters Joliet would love to meet you guys. Godfather, we'll see where we're placed this year. Hooters, yum. A lot of Hooters talk today. The Sanders release was similar to Laramie Tunsil Bong video during the draft. I was at that video, not in the video. I was at that draft with Breck Bear here in Chicago. When the Laramie Tunsil video came out, it sent shockwaves through the entire first round. I think he slipped to 13th. Turned out pretty good for him, right? Turned out pretty good. He's one of the best tackles in the league to this day. Not really feeling Sanders as a quarterback. I wish him well, but he'll probably be another Trey Lance. Well, tough to say. What I think it's all about coaching. Bearded Gamer, Cubs are hot. Draft tonight. Life doesn't get much better. Uncle Ted. Luis Robert straight up for Lazaro Montes. I'll trade Luis Robert for about anything right now. No way we trade PCA. Tommy, I don't know where you got that. There's zero shot that'll ever happen. Hagen Smith will be up soon, says Ozzy. Go Sox. Jimbo, I love Ozzy. PCA being traded.
What are you, out of your freaking mind?
Hagen Smith, I do. As much as I love my guy Ozzy, I don't think he'll be up here soon. I just don't see it. I don't see it in the first half of the season. I don't. A couple more here as we wrap things up. and get ready for the draft. How cool. Watch the draft with Cap and Guff. Let's go. Tonight, 7 o'clock right here, Lakeside Bank. Recap football. Draft night. Live. Lakeside Bank, our proud sponsor. They will also be the sponsor of our 3 recaps after the Bears make some picks. All this trade up for Jeanty or Abdul Carter sounds like some smoke from the Bears to distract their real target, Mason Graham. I would love if Mason Graham fell to 10. Trade Robert Jr. for a 50-piece of Daytona wings from Hooters. I'll make that trade. Dan says, rest in peace, Mr. Mongo. Christopher, I like this. I hope Dallas is desperate to trade to get Gentry. I just hope Dallas is – see ya. I just hope Dallas is desperate. Period. Bet of the daytime. Horrible bet last night. My God, Ty Jerome came out of the gate swinging. He had 6 quick points and then went flatline the rest of the way. Finished with 0 assists and 6 points. Sometimes we have those nights, folks. We climb back up on the horse tonight. A lot of options. Excuse me. I got some draft bets in for some long shot plays. But, Cap, if you want to hang on 2 seconds. Recap bet of the day, Nikola Jokic over. I'm going over 26.5. I think they feed the big man all night long, as they should, at the Clippers. We'll take the loss last night. We're 7-10 in April. I'm riding the guy who's the best player on the floor. Period. He came just shy of this the other night when I had him to go over 28. He finished with, or 27.5. He had 26. I'm going to play it tonight at -120 for my guy Jokic to make it happen. Jess says, I'll be tuning in. Thanks for the recap football show. 7 o'clock tonight. Noah Schultz having trouble striking out righties. He's walking way too much. These guys need innings, folks. They need to develop. Cap, what do you think about a trade up and trade down? He is also in the don't trade up train. You switched up. I mean, Vontae Mack, no matter what. Happy draft day. We watched it in the office the other day. A lot of stuff going on. The bet of the day, Nikola Jokic late night while we're here doing the show. 7 o'clock tonight. Make sure you're here. Right here. Lakeside Bank. Recap. Football draft night live right here. Cap, myself, Alex Brown will be with you through the duration of the first round and what the Bears do. Appreciate you guys. Enjoy the rest of the day. Get some Hooters. Order Hooters to go. Order.hooters.com. Make it a Hooters night as we get ready for the NFL draft. Have a great rest of your day. I'll see you tonight with Cap for our draft coverage starting at 7 o'clock right here. It's been the Hooters Recap Lunch Hour with me, Guff, for everybody at the Recap. Enjoy the rest of your day. We'll see you tonight. Let's go.